What is good, y'all? SGG gang, man. It's your boy SmooveGotGame, aka GM Smooth. Back here with the Angel series, man. Thank you guys so much for the love and support you guys have been showing on this series. Another 100 down here on the channel, man, and we're on that road to 1K. So if you guys are enjoying the content and want to share it out with more people, man, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really shows that love and support, engagement for the series to get it out to more people as we go ahead and start this journey to rebuilding this already somewhat decent team. I mean, you see we're 48-35 here coming into the draft, as today we will be getting through the draft, getting to see what our first round of draft picks are going to look like for this team. And first thing I want to start out with as we come close to All-Star Weekend is our All-Stars. Now, we're not going to have too many players here that are listed as All-Stars, despite our actually somewhat good record. We don't have any starters or relievers, so no pitching prospects going to be in there. The closest thing we have at catcher here is Logan Hop, who's fourth place in voting right now. Our first baseman isn't even in the first, top 7 here for us. Nothing at second or third or short, as Neto's kind of pretty low. So the infield is kind of out of question. So we got to look into the outfield, where actually some of our best players are. As you see, Mike Trout listed as number 2 in right field, and Jorge Soler is listed as number 3. Batting .291 this season despite being out. He's only out for a couple more days with the ACL sprain. And then Jorge Soler batting .273 as well, both with 20+ home runs, both basically at 50 RBIs, 52 and 49. And Soler is actually number 2 in DH voting. So we could at least have 2 potential All-Stars this year, both being at the same position, which is weird. But that'll definitely be a good way to get All-Star Weekend started off. We'll have to see if any of them make it to the home run derby. As you see, Mike Trout coming back from his injury is sitting at 25 home runs right now, as Mickey Moniak did a pretty good job servicing in for him. Has a pretty good average this year as a 26-year-old, 71 overall prospect. Only batted .222 in his last 10. It's taking over that right field spot, so not the best. But his overall season numbers this year aren't too bad, batting .260 and 154 at-bats. So go ahead and move Mike Trout into the lineup. You see Jorge Soler has gone cold without his power duo hitting right in front of him is Joe Adell. We moved him up in the lineup to hit at that 3 spot to see what he would do. He had 2 good games, but outside of that, it's been kind of over. So we just need to figure out what to do to fix this cold streak. And coming into our last look at some of these prospects here, we have an unranked but 12th on our board prospect here in Douglas Ellison. Might be a very good sleeper to pick up. 84 to 96 potential. He's going to start with a pretty low overall, looks like somewhere in the 50s, but he's got good hits per 9, strikeout per 9. The walks per 9 is the best rating here, and we'll just have to worry about the home runs he gives up with that 4-seam slider, sinker, curveball mix. I think he could be a very good player for us. And then here, Harvey Pennington, just an outfielder I looked at. I love the contact and vision where it's at. The defense and speed are both great. One thing he won't bring to the team is power, but he's one of those MLB ready players. He's going to be 75 to 80 overall off the bat, and his potential is basically going to be that. So he's one of those players that we could go get if we're looking to just go ahead and draft now. But coming into the draft, we're all focused on our top of the board here. Henry Piera in left field, Richie Burns as a starting pitcher. It's going to be between these 2 that I end up taking with our number 2 pick. So I guess if one of them gets taken number 1, that gives us our option. But if they're both there, both good options here. So they both have the potential to be 99 with their potential, and both could start out at good starting points here for the team. So we're gonna get a couple of the back end picks related. I did focus a lot on our first, our number 2 pick. We really want to hit on that. But I realized that I don't have too much on the back end, like what we're going to do with the rest of the draft. So I wanted to get a couple more. I want to get us a couple closers looked into and a couple relievers looked into. But we're looking at a couple guys here that are middle-round draft in case we don't get some of our top options. So what is an episode, though, without some gameplay? We're going to go ahead and jump in here with the critical situation. Top of the 9th, runner at second, 2 outs. And Travis Arndt, 0 for 3 on the day, is going to look to try to walk us off here against Jeff Hoffman, or at least give us our lead back. So I wanted to at least get us a little bit of gameplay in here before we hop into All-Star Weekend, before we hop into the draft and select our new round of prospects. This team is pretty weak in a lot of areas. I'm really looking to upgrade at least one form of the position as we swing through that slider down the middle. We're not going to get any heroics here before the draft, so hopefully the draft leads up to better. But we strike out there and lose to the Blue Jays here on the road in Toronto. But yeah, we're looking to upgrade one position. We want to either upgrade the outfield, the infield, really mainly just either the outfield or starting pitching this year. We didn't do too much work on the infield. We did a lot of work on the outfield, a lot of work at starting pitching. So this year I'm looking to double, if not triple up, even at positions. So that's trade bait if we do double up or triple up, or if there are different positions. That's a lot of great prospects to start filling up our minor league system with. So pretty good game here though all around. We had a couple extra base hits from Joe, Zach, and Nolan. Reed Detmers 5 1/3, 2 earned runs. Just had no run support behind him here today. And coming out of that, a big trade here is the Tigers go acquire Tanner Bibby. Having a very good season this year, 3.11 ERA, 26 years old and 86 overall, so he's got plenty of time to develop. And what do they get out of it? 3 B potential prospects as the Guardians get, something to bolster their minor league system with 2 20-year-olds and a 24-year-old starter pitcher to go and back up. And this trade did make sense as Detroit was in playoff contention. So that's moved to get rid of some prospects to bolster their rotation. Could actually come in handy to help them out be better here. And I wanted to take a look at this game because we lost this one big time, giving up 10 runs here today. Starting pitching, relief pitching, there's going to have to be some changes here. So that's why I'm leaning a little bit more towards Richie here because we really want to start to get this done. But if Henry is there, I'm taking BPA. He's number 1 on our board. He's number 1 on the MLB board. If he somehow slips past the number 1 pick, he's coming to us. But you can see here, I'm basically adding kind of all the top guys that we fully scouted, and even some that we haven't fully scouted. Basically, all the top 10s are going to be on our queue. Because, one of them is going to get selected with our pick here. And here's somebody we haven't talked too much about, Bobby McDaniel, 8th on our board, 25th overall. Has great potential, great starting ratings, and great cap ratings. But I just don't think we'll have time to go get somebody like that. Now, if they manage to slide to our pick at 40, our second round pick, then I'll gladly take some of these other guys on here. But these guys are just basically going to be kind of on here to also see where they go, so I can see when they come off the board, see what teams they go to, and we can kind of keep track of them. So obviously, the first 6 picks here are done by the lottery. Everybody else has 10 seconds on the clock while you have, I think it's like 4 minutes. And so the first couple picks go by quickly though, as the first 3 picks are all basically done within actually in an instant. I was about to say 3 seconds, but they're actually done instantly. So as we go ahead and get into this draft, we was us the Nationals ahead of us and then the Mariners. So the Nationals kick off the lottery draft here with Oswaldo Velez, 3rd on our board. So he's the 3rd player on our board, starting pitcher, 83 to 93 potential. They must have really liked him over, I guess, Richie Burns, who it showed was obviously the better player. But now that gives us a pick of actually both Henry and Richie. I'm surprised they didn't go Richie here, 2 on our board. He's got great stats. The striker pronounce is going to start out low, but can get decent, and everything else is good. But how do you not take the contact, power, vision, and okay fielding with great speed of Henry Pierre? I'm going to guess it's Pierre too, by the way. If you have a similar last name to that, let me know how that's pronounced, because I would not know how to say it. If you're from the Dominican Republic, let me know how y'all would pronounce that, because that's where it says he's from. As we're going to go ahead and draft him and make him our first overall pick here of the series. We'll, of course, get to see what his potential and his overall are going to be over a little bit later. 68 to 80 and his overall, so probably around the 70s. 87 to 99 potential. At least he will be coming in with an A potential. It'll just be a matter of what it is. At 19 years old, he did opt out of his doctor's exam, which is a little worrying. We're going to have plenty of time to go and see what kind of player he is. And then here at pick number 3, Alan Moiser. He'll go to be taken 10th on our board. So it's kind of a reach there by Seattle. Definitely some other better options taking him over Richie Burns. And Richie Burns is actually starting to slip down the board here. As something interesting started to happen. I started to look at who our potential next pick could be, who would be there. And every person I touched on ended up getting took. So you see Pablo Vasquez there. We were looking at his ratings. Got took. Someone here at Sergio Serena. 79-95%. Took by the Pirates. And after that, after 2 in a row happened, I just stopped. I was like, all right, look, I'm not clicking in any more profiles. You see Richie Burns there was taken by the White Sox, and we're coming up closer and closer to our pick. So I'm starting to look, we need a starting pitcher. I want to go with somebody that's good. And you see some of these guys here that on the MLB board are pretty far back, but on our board are good, like Bobby McDaniel, 8, Buster Nance at 12. There's also Douglas Ellison, who's unranked at 13 for us. So it looks like we will have a couple of options. I might even be able to get 2 of these 3. As you see, Rick Ziegler there goes in and goes to the Brewers. So that takes off at least our last infielder, except for Jimmy Liss here on our board. So at 43, I'm going to go with Douglas Ellison. Just because from unranked to 12 or 13 is a huge jump. The hits per 9, strikeout per 9, stuff's going to need work on, but his walks is already starting on a good range. And you just can't argue with a huge jump like that. 84 to 96 potential. He might have a long way to get there because he's going to probably start in the 50s. At 19 years old, though, he's got plenty of time to get up there. So he's going to be our first starting pitching prospect that we take in this year's draft. So we've gone outfield now. We've gone starting pitching. And now officially everybody off my board has been took. So now we're just kind of looking around who's still left here. We do have a couple of other guys fully scouted, like Dave Stewart here is 87 to 97 potential at 100% scouted. He was unranked and moved up to 42 on the board. We also have another unranked outfielder, starting pitcher with Alexi Rizaldo, who's moved up a little bit, but we're going to go with the full 100% scouted Dave Stewart here. A potential player, looks like what it was most likely come in with, and could end up being a 60. So a little bit of a shorter path to the league. Being at 22, he's going to need that. Now we go ahead and go up to round 4. As we've already taken 2 starting pitchers and an outfielder. There's only one other infielder that I'm looking at here. He's the only third baseman left in Jameson Milando. He's got some good ratings, but I don't know if I'm ready to take him just yet here in the 4th round at 110. So instead, I decided to go with a relief pitcher here, as we do want to upgrade our bullpen. Didn't get him scouted at all, so we're going to have to kind of hope on some of these out wide ranges and hope on that 112 draft ranking to see if he's actually good. Going to pick 140, though. I did want to check, and Jameson was still here. He was unranked on the MLB board, 121 on ours. So this is actually considered a great pick for us. So we'll go ahead and take up Jameson Milando. Only 54% scouted. So during the time that you're signing your prospects, you will get a chance to rescout them too as well. So that's no big deal at all. And then here with our last pick, we're going starting pitcher again. So we were able to get 3 of our 6 picks in starting rotation possibly here. As we have another non-ranked, but he's at 69, Alex Campos. He got him to 70% scouted. Still 79 to 92 range. So we'll have to see what they end up being when we get a chance to sign those draft picks a little bit later. As we get a dub here against Arizona heading into All-Star Weekend, 2-0. Mickey Moniak gets another home run here today. Him and Soler getting the RBIs. And then UC Kikuchi, 8 innings of work. I don't remember the last time we saw a starter go 8 innings, but I will definitely take it. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the home run derby here. I hear that you do have to watch it to actually give them, if you go to the player cards, you actually see awards they've won. So you have to watch the All-Star, the home run derby and stuff like that for them to actually get it on their player card. And I don't want to take anything away from other players. So we don't have anybody in it, but it will be Mark Ventos, Jordan Alvarez, Brent Booker, Aaron Judge, Marcelo Dunza, Brent Doyle, Christian Walker, and Shohei Ohtani. And it comes down to Mark Ventos going into the final round here against Jordan Alvarez, as one of them is going to take home this home run derby championship this year. So we're jumping ahead here with 1 out already. Mark has already hit up to 13 runs, and the way I see that this works is basically you get up to 27 pitches, but I think it's like 2 minutes to hit home runs, and then after that you get 3 outs. If you hit a home run more than 450 feet, you're awarded the bonus out, so 4 outs. So here we are up to 17 bombs now by Mark. He's at his 3rd out here, going to his final one, as he hits this one deep out to left field, carrying down. So we'll go ahead and end his round here with 17 home runs, leaving Jordan Alvarez needing 18 to win. Can he pull it off? As we skip ahead here, he's already got 1 of his 4 outs as he hits his bonus home run. Gets home run number 12 there, 13 right after it. He just needs 4 more to tie. He's got 2 more outs left to play with, as that's a line rope right to a double at least. 1 more out to go. That's going to be a fly ball into the gap. It's going to need to carry a little bit, and it hits up against the base of the wall. So Alvarez falls 4 home runs short, leaving your New York Mets Mark Vientos, their 3rd baseman, winning the home run derby championship trophy here in year 1 of the series. 26 in round 1, 16 in round 2, followed up by 17 with the one being 465 feet. Now we go ahead and jump into the All-Star Weekend, where we once again already know we have no pitchers in line to be played on, but Mike Trout does end up making it as the starting right fielder. So not only do we have an All-Star, we have a starter as well, and Jorge Soler also makes it too as well. So 2 All-Stars, same position, both end up getting to play. So why not jump into the All-Star game? As I would simulate it if we didn't have any All-Stars, but since we do, let's come enjoy the festivities. So you see the fireworks are going off. It's a great day at the park. This is probably one of my top bucket list things that I would probably want to do. I probably want to go to each of the All-Star games. Like I'd want to go to NBA All-Star Weekend. I'd want to go to the Pro Bowl, but more so than all those, I probably would want to go to MLB All-Star Weekend. I feel like NBA All-Star Weekend is going to be really hectic and crazy and dangerous situation to be in. Not going to lie to you. But the Pro Bowl, not as much fun to be had. I feel like MLB's All-Star Weekend would give me a good middle ground. It's fun, it's light, and I feel like it's just a very more open environment, more more fun can be had here. Probably a lot more, a lot cheaper too. Like, if we're being honest, I feel like it's probably the cheapest of the 3 different All-Star games to go to. I don't know. I haven't looked up ticket prices. I don't know that for a factuals, but it seems like it might be, because it's also probably the least talked about, at least in my circles that I'm around. That's the least talked about All-Star game. Let me know down below if you guys have ever been to an All-Star weekend for any sport, but specifically here for baseball, and how was it for you? What year did you go? What was your favorite? What was your best memory from it? And hopefully it wasn't watching Mike Trout jump into the wall, watching another NL home run go over the wall. As anytime we try to play outfield for Mike Trout, it seemed like they were just booming the ball out to the outfield. So coming up for a second at bat here after striking out his first time round, facing off against Zach Gallen this time. Paul Skeens was no joke there to kind of go up against Allen. A little bit less heat here, so maybe we can catch up to something right up the middle here. That's going to be a base hit that gets on through to center field. Throw's going to come in, so we're going to keep rounding it. Why not All-Star Weekend? Let's make some fun. As they threw that one to the pitcher, and we're able to slide in safely. They do award us with a double on that one. So Mike Trout doubling here in the All-Star game, setting us up with a good position to take back our lead. After Ellie De La Cruz hit that solo bomb to tie up the game, Christian Walker here. Can he go 2 for 2 on the day and bring across a run? Chopped on the ground, right to shortstop, so it should be an easy play, but with only 1 out, we will at least avoid a double play. So thankfully we did move up, because that could have ended the game or ended the inning if we didn't. So we get an extra run here, go up 2-1. Another ball on the ground here going to third base. This will be an easy play. So we're just having to go with the lead being 2-1 American League. As we go right back into the field, Mark Vientos, a home run derby champion, back up to the plate here in his second at bat, flying this one deep out to left field. You didn't get enough of this earlier. Solo home run, and I apologize, I said left field, I meant right field. 2-run shot to give them the lead, and I guess he didn't get enough homers in the home run derby. Now, as you can see here, we're jumping ahead, top of the 7th. I wanted to get in Soler's at bat when I saw him go in, but they kind of snuck him in there on me at DH. I thought he would replace Mike Trout. But 1 for 3 and a double. Mike Trout will come up with Soler having just walked. So both of our All-Stars here on the diamond at the same time. Soler at first base with his walk. Trout trying to move him up and around as the AL is up 6-4 here. And remember, this is for home field advantage for the World Series. This is one of the only All-Star games that actually does matter, because the winner here gets home field advantage in the World Series. So you never know if that's going to be your team or not. You might as well play hard to try to get the home field advantage, though. Now, for the players that are, your team's already out of contention, you probably don't have as much stock built into this game, but it's probably also not that many All-Stars from those teams. As we go ahead and strike out there in our last at bat, American League does end up winning it here for us. So in total, our All-Stars go 1 for 4, a double, and a walk, including Soler's numbers. He obviously was only a DH, only got 1 at bat. But great All-Star weekend, man. I'm surprised that we actually did have an All-Star. Mike Trout has had a phenomenal season here, been able to withstand injuries and perform good. And we go look at the futures game as well to see if we have any starters here. So no pitching prospects just yet. Y'all know we drafted a whole bunch of them, so maybe we'll see some next year. And then on the batting side, Christian Moore actually does end up making it, but as a bench player. So he's not a starter here, so I'm not going to force him to start, and we'll just kind of simulate past this game. But at least we did have 1 future All-Star to kind of worry about, and hopefully next year we at least get like 2 or 3 more that can kind of add up to that, and we can continue to build this farming system. As after that, we do have a trade to go down here. Shane McClellan to the Red Sox for looks like 2 more younger prospects here. Roman Anthony, an A potential center fielder. Great defense already. The hitting just needs to be upgraded. The contact's in a good spot. His vision's just low. And then Vaughn Grissom for a, really good starting pitcher, but I guess that helps the Red Sox get better. I don't know why they would want to trade with or why the Rays would want to help them get better now just for promise in the future. But it is what it is. We have to look at our trade potentials too as well, as we're coming up close to the trade deadline. So some guys that we maybe don't see as future building pieces, like Zach and Nolan and Logan. Is there anybody that's going to be traded? Jorge Soler, I thought about for a second. He is regressing. Possibly could help a team that needs a bat. If there's anybody out there that is looking for maybe a DH, obviously can't field too well. And then looking at like our pitching staff, we have a couple of good arms here this season. UC Kikuchi. I hope I'm saying his name right. Kikuchi. Maybe Kikuchi. He's had a great season. Kyle Hendricks has had a good season. Reed and Jack have both struggled, but Jose Soriano is my main trade target there. As you can see, we're in the wild card chase, so we could use something to maybe boost us up a little bit, but I didn't see anything or any moves. We don't have any prospects to send off that would make us better. So we end up, at least for now, holding off on the trades and focusing on signing our draft picks. Of course, we got to get main dude number 1 signed here to a deal if possible. We're going to go and get our top 3 picks though here, put up, see if we can go to get these 3 signed and move on to the next 3. As Henry, of course, he's going to want a high deal. He's demanding $10.3 million. His pick value is 9.7. So we're going to go above both of those and go 10.5. I want to make sure we get our number 1 pick signed. Not interested in these terms. 69% motivation, didn't drop at all, but he's just not interested in signing yet. I guess he wants to wait and see what happens here with that. And I actually understood why a little bit later, and I'll point it out as you guys see it and notice it. But then we have Douglas here. He wants 1.6 million. I go 1.7, well, 1.89 million, go in between the MLB draft and what he wants. He decides to go ahead and sign with us, so we got our number 2 pick there with Douglas. Dave Stewart, 3rd pick here, 2nd starter. He wants 723K, so we go ahead and sign him here for that signing bonus, get him on the team. Not too much hassle at all, and brings on our next round of guys who aren't fully scouted. So this is also a great time to get those guys scouted all the way through. So Alex Campos, 70%, Jameson Milando, 54%. So we have these guys ready to get scouted, and it also helps upgrade their motivations too. Coming back in here for our second rounds, trying to re-get them to sign. This is what I noticed. That meter went up. I maxed out all the way last time. It was 10.4. Now it's at 11.7. So I think Henry was actually trying to hold out to get more money, because here is 72%, doesn't go down again, isn't successful, but we're able to offer more. And you'll see on the 3rd offer, I'm able to go even higher. Now here with Alex Campos, we're able to sign him for 372K. So he's going to come to the team. We still got to finish up Jameson Milando's though profile. He's only at 84%. So we want to see if he's even worth it, because he's getting worse and worse by the second. Only 82 potential, so it could be like a C prospect. And we'll go ahead and get Cecil Kendrick on here too, as well, as he's only at 10%. And coming back to Henry's deal, you see here now 11.14 is what it's allowing me to do. So it's slowly but surely going and increasing up higher and higher. While he's only asking for 10.3, he ends up signing for 11.1. So Henry's officially on the team. We've got our number 1 prospect locked in and locked up, which will be good for us. And then coming down here, we finally get our first trade offer of the season. Bailey Falter, a starting pitcher for Christian Moore and Bryce Osmond. Now, obviously we know who Christian Moore is, but Bryce Osmond, C potential, 24 overall, 63 years old. Put up pretty good numbers here at AA, so he's progressing pretty nicely. And obviously we know why they would want Christian Moore being a top tier infield prospect. But does Bailey Falter help us get better in the immediate? Will we actually see an improvement from this that we, just can't let go? And C potential at 73 overall. A 5 ERA here at the major league level, and he's been playing long reliever most of the season, not even a starter. As you look at here, his most recent games, he's only started 1 out of his last 10 games, and the ERA is at 3.96 in the last 10. So yeah, no, this is a trade that I'm going to have to completely go against and look for just some other options. I might consider it if they gave me like Skeens or Jones, maybe even like somebody like Alex Cobb or Hunter Barce here, but I feel like that would just be asking too much, and that's not going to help us get better today. And going back into our last 2 prospects here, we have Jameson Milano, now 100% scouted. He just seems like an okay prospect. He'll probably be a solid C. Not even sure if this will really be trade bait here. Doesn't look like the ceiling is too high for any of his ratings. Outside of speed would be at a good spot, but I mean, even fielding, he's going to be about average. Hitting, he's going to probably be average to below average. I'm honestly debating on signing him or not. So we're going to let that kind of weigh on us for a little bit, see what other moves can be made before we make that decision. And Kuchui, 2 to 3 months here with a broken hand. It's probably because I said his name wrong. He decided to break his hand and just sit out the rest of the season. So now we're down a starter. Our best starter at that is we got to move Tyler Anderson into the rotation, who's had a great season too as well. But now this makes me want to move on from Jose Serrano even more. Why? Because the team actually has been slumping through the month of July. We just lost our best starter. We already have 2 that are slumping. So now I'm thinking, okay, what prospects can I get from Soriano? Is there anything that really jumps out at me? And I'm not going to lie, I got more offers than I thought we would here. Almost every team in the league, as you see we're going through, at least offered something in the terms of a prospect. So the one that really caught my eye the most here was the Cubs. They wanted to give me an A potential third baseman at Matt Shaw. 23 years old, 67 overall. They also were giving us a relief pitcher. But this would make sense for them. They are in the wild card push. They're in the central push, not even just the wild card push at 58 wins, 48 losses. This will give them another strong arm to help them out, and they're willing to give up a prospect here at a position of need for us. Third base is something I wanted to fill this year. 5 home runs, 12 RBIs at AAA, but at the MLB level, he's hitting over 300, even better than he was at AAA. So he's actually produced at the majors too, with solid defense, good contact ratings, good vision ratings for where they're at. So I wanted to see what kind of trade we can work out. I didn't want the reliever, but I did want a starter here. Jordan Wicks, I think, would add to this to give me something back to fill up our bullpen role. See potential, so he's not too good of a player. 71 overall, he's had a decent season. I just wanted to get somebody to plug in some of our rotation to replace the arm we're losing, since we're getting a prospect. And out of return for that, they said they needed a little bit more value. So I'm looking at all of our potential prospects that we can add in. I didn't want to add in somebody like Ryan Noda. He's kind of old, even though he's got B potential. Seemed kind of pointless. But JD Davis here would work. 71 years old. He's 31. But he's actually the best third baseman they have on roster. Matt Shaw was the second best at 67 overall. The best was 69, I believe, here. As we scroll over, yeah, 69 by John Bertie. He's already the best third baseman they have. So he could immediately come up to the show. So he'll get a role at the major league level, so it'll be better for him. The Cubs get a good third baseman, get a good starter, and can continue to push towards the postseason. I believe that's fair from all sides. You guys can let me know what you guys grade that trade down below. Is it fair? Is it not? And how much you see it working out for us. Now, they have Matt Shaw up here at the major league level for us. So I'm going to let him stay here. I'm going to let him see what he can do. Finish out the year at the majors. Let's see what you can produce. Make me want you to stay here. And we'll see what the rest of his career looks like and shakes out for us as the future. So as we go to jump back into, that's one of the only trades I think that we need to make here. We'll go ahead and simulate our way through the end of July so we can get a look at these ratings. In this first start with us, we do get the win here, 5-4. Great job here by the offense. Not seeing that third baseman got into the game here today. Yeah, no, we kept him on the bench here today, not bringing him in. But we're able to get Zach Neto 3 more RBIs. And Jordan Wicks 4 2/3, 2 earned runs, and a strikeout. Not a bad start. Just wish he pitched a little bit longer. But the bullpen was able to hold it down too behind him, except for Kenley Jensen, and get us that dub. So now Cecil Kendricks here. He got him fully 100% scouted as a reliever. I like where his per nines are at. Controls a little bit on the low side, but everything else as far as his per nines are going to come in at a good rating and get better, including his home run per 9, walk per 9, and it looks like he's got good strikeout numbers. So with the 4-seam slider, changeup, a sinker, not too much speed on those, but he's still gonna be able to get strikeouts. We're gonna offer him a contract here, so about kind of in the middle of what he wants, $631K. So we'll go up to $646K on his deal. And then Jameson, we just got a third baseman prospect now, so now I'm thinking, like, do we even need him? I was already on the fence about him originally. He's probably going to be like a 50 overall. Highest that we're going to get him is 81 potentially. But I saw no reason to not get some depth. We have the money. He's not asking for too much. Only $371K. If he was asking for something ridiculous, I would have said no. But $371K, we can eat that. So let him see what he can do. Let's see what he can develop, maybe at single A. And as we come in and look at our ratings, boy, could you imagine a better top 3. 99, 92, 93 potentials. All the way down the board. Henry's coming in at a 80 overall, the highest possible thing that he could have came in at. 70s in his contacts, 70s in his power, 64 vision. The defense is the only thing that needs work, but as a hitter, as a DH, Jorge Soler, your position could be in trouble. But he's playing left field, the spot where you can be weak in defense. So I'm not even mad at him starting at left field. So that's going to be a great boost there. And then we get 2 starting pitchers at 90s. The Alex Campos that we got later is at 87. So 3 guys that are all in blue for starting pitching. So our starting pitching prospects just got better. Douglas Ellison coming in at a 56 overall. We knew it'd be a long shot. He's going to have to really work to get up. But at 19, plenty of time to get his per nines up. The home run per 9 and pitching clutch are the 2 biggest things for him. But 83 stamina is a great starting point. Dave Stewart after him is a 61 overall. 93 potential. 3 years older, so he's got less time to reach his max. And only 70 stamina has me thinking possible long reliever here with him instead of a starter. But everything's at a solid spot. Work on his per nines, maybe strike out per 9. Get that a little bit higher, have him do a long relief role. And then you have Alex Campos here, starting out at a 57 overall, 21 years old to get up to an 87. So a little bit long over time. 81 stamina still puts him in starter range. His pitching clutch is incredibly low though. So definitely not like somebody that you want with runners in score position. So we want to keep that hit per 9 going up, so we don't have to worry about it. And this is when I was kind of comparing all three of them, seeing their weaknesses and strengths. And this is when I realized that, yeah, Dave Stewart might be more of like a lone reliever, while the other two might turn into starters, actually reaching the bullpen. But I don't think our work is done here at the starting pitcher position. We might still need to get at least one more arm, whether that's through free agency or through another draft pick. Now, our reliever here, Cecil Kendrick, great numbers on his per nines. Pitching clutch is the only thing that's low, and then his control at 40, which we knew about. But I think he could be a strong reliever that develops. He's a 74 potential at 62 overall. And then James McDonald, 76 potential, 52 overall. So there's definitely room for improvement. And the 76 is not a bad rating. Now, his defense, booty, hitting, booty, plate, intangibles, booty. But he's got time to grow. So single A, I think, would be a good spot for him to start, if not double A. Now, we see here with the Astros, they were not able to sign one of their players. Best thing they could do is a 91 potential, though. The Athletics here have no blues across the board. 82 is the best they could do in left field with Andy Hamlin as their first pick. The Mariners, same thing, no blue here. 83 with Alan Moiser as their top pick, as they picked right after us. And then Robert Weston here for the Rangers being their best pick, and Steve Enriquez, 86, 88 potential. So they were able to pick up some blues. Now, we wanted to look at across the league at some other top picks. Oswaldo Velez, the top pick in the draft, ended up being 87 potential. So glad we didn't go take him at 69 overall. But he does have really high stamina. Richie Burns ends up being one of the best starting pitchers, though, at 96 potential. Definitely wish we could have doubled up on that. I wish he had kept sliding back, but the White Sox were smart and took him. 83 potential, or 83 stamina. Great per nines. Sergio Serena Ruiz ends up being the other 99 overall prospect. He actually comes in at 82. So in terms of best player, that would be the Pirates. Even though ours was good, they did hold a one up on us because his current overall is higher. So he's got a little bit less to work on to get to his top ceiling. Richie Jimenez ends up being the steal of the draft, I would think, here for the Cardinals. 94 potential, although he's starting in the 40s. So definitely some good picks that we're going to have to worry about. Thankfully, we're on the NL or the AL side, so I don't have to see the Pirates. I don't have to see the Cardinals. But we do have to worry about our division, which looks like they drafted for the majority of the party, except for the Rangers, pretty weak this season. So the good teams on top of us did booty. The Athletics are always going to beat booty. So we just got to worry about the Rangers, and we'll keep things going from there. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Grade our draft picks down below. And do you think we hit on each of our picks the best that we could? And what are some other things that I can do during this scouting process that can make it a little bit easier? Obviously, like I said, we didn't have a whole lot on the back end of information. So we were kind of drafting guys and guessing. So I want to eliminate that at least for as long as the draft is possible. I know it's probably not something you can do to go all 6 rounds and have 100% information on everybody or every position that you're looking at, but just different ways that I can make to look to get that better. So hope you guys did enjoy, man. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys did enjoy the video in the commentary, and you guys are ready for another Angels rebuild video here this Saturday. Check you guys back later. It's me, your boy GM Smooth, and I'm out.